Hi, we're the Souls. We're new to town.
Welcome to Monroe.
So you can move more effortlessly.
Wanted to open a new account, checking and savings.
Oh, we can help with that.
We tend to do a lot of banking.
You play?
Yeah.
Discover a mobile app that lets you bank more freely and feel at home more quickly. Chase, so you can.
Tonight there is a red-hot debate in one American town about a decision made in a high school case that rocked the entire community of Maryville, Missouri. In the last 24 hours, a special prosecutor making her final decision about a case of alleged rape involving a teenage daughter and a popular high school football player. Was it fueled by alcohol? Did he ply her with drinks? Consensual or rape? Tonight, ABC's Matt Gutman in Maryville, where that prosecutor's decision is rippling through the town tonight.
Today, Daisy Coleman is the face of the latest alcohol-fueled teen sex scandal.
14-year-old Daisy Coleman.
The sexual assault charges.
A high school sexual assault case is making headlines once again.
She is the face that you almost never see. The teenage victim shedding anonymity to speak about what happened to her.
I really wish more girls would tell their story.
And what she says is happening to young girls all over the country.
You had a lot of young people that made a lot of bad decisions, and they ended up getting caught.
Her story is set in Maryville, Missouri, an all-American town where football is king and its players royalty. On these plains, the fairy tale is that the corn-fed football champs date the cute cheerleaders. But not for Daisy. At 14, a beaming and back then blonde cheerleader new to Maryville. She had already survived one tragedy when she was 9, a car accident that killed her father, a physician. For Daisy, her 3 brothers, and veterinarian mom, Melinda, the move to Maryville with its cows and cornfields was meant to be a fresh start.
So, when you moved to Maryville, what was it like?
Maryville was great. We were anonymous. We were starting over fresh. We didn't have to be the tragic family. We were just us.
But that fresh start in anonymity would soon end so bitterly. Trouble began, harmlessly enough, on a frigid January evening, a sleepover with her friend Paige, who was in the 8th grade.
She just came over, we started watching scary movies.
They also started drinking. Daisy says it was one of the first times she and 13-year-old Paige had consumed alcohol.
I was in high school and everyone was already doing it, so I was like, oh, I might as well try this.
Weeks before, Daisy had already begun texting with a high school senior, a tall and broad-shouldered defensive end named Matthew Barnett. He was in the cool crowd of athletes, along with her oldest brother, Charlie. Here they are, together at prom. But Charlie wasn't exactly pleased with all that flirty texting.
I told him, I was like, quit texting my sister.
You told him to stop texting your sister?
And I told her to stop. And I was like, listen, he's a senior, you're a freshman. You're my little sister. He hangs out with me. That's so messed up. You can't be talking to him. And she's like, oh, okay. Well, she didn't listen. She's a teenage kid.
He was really popular. He was a senior football player. He was friends with everyone. And he asked to hang out. So we snuck out of my house around 1. And he drove us to his house. And he had to sneak us through his basement window.
At the house, some of the town's most popular teens and athletes. Barnett, the grandson of a former longtime Missouri State Representative, Junior Jordan Zeck, a standout wrestler. A senior whose family owned the biggest restaurant in town, a junior star running back, and a 15-year-old.
Those were the guys I was with every single day.
You could have trusted them like a brother, and you hoped that you could have trusted them with your sister.
Yeah. I hoped.
They kind of egged me on to drink from this really tall shot glass.
Daisy says the boys called it the bitch cup, and she drank from it.
Everything after that was just black, and that's all I remember.
Paige says she does remember what happened next.
They just automatically separated us, and another guy took me into a different room and sexually assaulted me, and we went back out into the living room, and we had to wait until Matt was done, and he opened the door and I went in there, and she couldn't talk at all, and they were trying to get her to stand up, and They realized that she wasn't going to be able to, so one of them went through the window, and then they proceeded to drag her out of the window.
In police reports, Barnett admits having sex with Daisy, but insists it was consensual. The biggest question was she incapacitated by her drunkenness? That would soon become a critical legal detail. Barnett claims she was buzzed when they had sex, but didn't get truly drunk until after they had sex. One boy told police that she drank 5 to 10 shots of vodka in less than 15 minutes after having sex with Barnett. And that same boy shot a short iPhone video of Daisy and Barnett, quote, dry humping. Less than an hour after they had arrived, Paige says the boys dragged Daisy to the car. She was crying. On their way to Daisy's house, Barnett and the boy who had sex with Paige chucked their used condoms out the window.
They just started panicking a lot, saying, how are we going to get her dropped off without her brothers waking up, without them hearing us? And so they brought us back to the house and dropped her off and then just put her in the yard. And they told me to go back inside and that she'd be fine. She just had to sober up.
Paige sneaked back inside, leaving Daisy outside with the boys. All the while, Melinda thought her daughter was safely asleep in bed all night. It was 5 a.m. when Daisy was discovered.
And the dog started barking, which woke Mom up and my youngest brother. And they went to the door, and she was coming towards the porch.
And she had just sweatpants and a t-shirt on. It was 22 degrees. Her hair was wet and frozen. And I could see that she had frostbite on her feet.
And then I was woken up to, Charlie, wake up, Charlie, there's something wrong. And that's when I got out of bed and came upstairs, and that's probably when my life changed.
Daisy had been abandoned on the lawn for almost 3 hours, wearing no shoes or socks.
It was terrifying, and I couldn't understand why she was outside. We pulled her in and wrapped her in blankets and started warming her up.
Melinda says she thought maybe Daisy had been sleepwalking. But when she put Daisy in the bathtub to warm her up, she noticed marks on her body.
I asked her if she was hurting, and she kind of said yes and started crying. And that's when I was pretty certain that something had happened.
She said, okay, something's been seriously wrong. I need you to find her phone. So my brother and I went in the yard and found the phone. Started reading these messages from Maddie.
When you read that text message that said Maddie on the phone, and you saw your sister, did you instantly know what happened?
I instantly knew there was something going on. You know, the last message on there was, I'll be there in a minute. And I was so mad.
I called the police, and they came out, and then I took her into the emergency room. The doctor said that she had been raped, and we were both crying. I think that's when it really hit us. It was definitely my worst fears. As a mom, it just hurt so much, and you want to take the pain away. And I think I knew what she was going to go through.
The night that began with the girls watching horror movies quickly became a real-life nightmare for them both. And for Daisy, a very public one.
They would yell liar or the S word.
We thought it was bad then. It got even worse.
Next, a suicide attempt and one final bombshell.
I think it's a just result. It's the right result.